Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Songbird's Nest. My name is Margaret with Songbirds Creations, Crochet, and more. I hope that you are all having a good morning. Right now, I am just doing a quick test live to see how the natural light looks at this time of the day, because I am planning to start doing some live streams in the mornings on the weekends. It was brought to my attention by a good friend of mine that there's kind of a lack of morning content. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and do some live streams. Get my content going. Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning, Rebecca. Good morning, Michelle. It is so good to see you. Good morning, Bibi. Nice to have you here. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to test out and see how things looked, see if I need to adjust my surroundings to have the camera functioning as best as I can, and that way I can plan what I need to do for my lives coming up on the weekend. Today I'm just pretty much coming in to hang out, chat a little bit, have some coffee, and do a little crochet. It's been a while since I've been on the screen, so bear with me. Michelle, it is really nice to have you here. Even if you're lurking and working, that's awesome. I plan to start doing some lives probably around 9:30 Eastern on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, that's my plan. So, well, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. Good morning, Lana. Nice to see you here. Yep, I finally made it. I would have been here probably about half an hour earlier, but my stupid computer, I haven't turned it on in ages, so I can't really blame it for having to do a gazillion and one updates before it would even let me on the computer. So I had to sit here and wait for that. Then I had sign-in issues and just one thing after another. So yeah. Baby, yeah, that's kind of why I scheduled it for that time of the day, because I figure a lot more people will be up and around and awake at that time. I know I will be up and around and awake at that time, so that helps. Good morning, Julianne. Nice to see you. Coffee. My second cup of the day. Still much needed. So, Julianne, you will be happy to see I am working with the yarn that I got from you. One of my many whips that I have going right now. I decided I'm just going to make like a lapgan or a throw. I'm just doing it in moss stitch, and it's working up pretty cool. It's kind of fun how the confetti works up in there. And I think I'm going to, since I've only got 4 balls of it, I think I'm going to mix some white stripes in there too. So I think that will be fun. Baby, this is the yarn, one of the yarns that I got from Julianne when she had her dibs sale. And yeah, I'm really happy that I got it. It's very soft, so Yeah, it's really nice yarn to work with. And the little confetti bits in there are really fun because it kind of reminds me of sprinkles on the top of a strawberry donut or something like that. So yeah. Hello, Amber. My weather is being totally insane this morning. I went outside. I went outside early this morning, about 5 o'clock before Marty went live. And I pulled a chair out in the middle of the yard because the sky was just amazing. There, it's with the black moon, the sky was so dark and I could see so many stars. So it was just absolutely fantastic. So I sat out in the yard for about 20 minutes just looking at the sky. My dog thought I was totally insane. But yeah, it was beautiful. And then I came back in, watched Marty's live, and um, then went out again after the live because originally when I looked at the weather yesterday, they were calling for rain today. When I went out this morning and looked at the sky, of course, it was clear as a bell. So I went in and looked at the weather again, and they had taken the rain out of the forecast for today. Well, I decided I would wait until after Amber's live to do my watering. And lo and behold, what's it do? It starts raining. So I don't have to water, which is a nice thing. So I sat out on the porch and watched it rain, and it was a little chilly, so I had to go put on my big heavy sweater and a pair of socks. I'm gonna really miss the nice mornings of being able to hang out on the porch with my coffee and my crochet. I don't like that summer is ending. But yeah, so then it stopped raining and it cleared off and it got sunny. And then just a few minutes ago, it got all gray again. And I think it may have rained a little bit more because the street was starting to dry up and now it's all wet again. So apparently it rained a bit more. And now it's clearing back off and getting sunny again. It's just one of those days it can't decide. You know, Rebecca, that is so true. These cooler mornings do feel nice, but after the hot summer, they actually feel a bit chilly. I mean, it was 56, I think, when I went out on the porch this morning. So, yeah, definitely not quite ready for stuff to go that cool. Bye, Michelle. Take care. Oh, so what has everybody else got on the hook? What are you guys up to? $71 right now. That's nice. I think the last I looked, it was like 62 here. But we're supposed to get up in the 70s today. Not too warm, though. Which actually I kind of like because my tomatoes are finally starting to ripen up. And boy, are they starting to ripen up. I've had to give tomatoes to my neighbors on either side of me because I've gotten so many of them. 92, yuck. Yeah, that's too hot. Oh, cute. I've got some yarn downstairs. I was sorting through a box of yarn that I kind of had forgotten about. It was in the back room of the basement, and found just a ton of novelty yarns that I had bought, obviously, back many years ago when those yarns were really in vogue, I guess you would say. I had made a lot of scarves and hats with it. I was working in a call center at the time, and they used to let me bring my crochet to work and crochet while I was in between calls. So that was kind of nice. Well, when everybody at work saw that I crocheted, they all were ordering hats and scarves and stuff from me. So that was kind of nice. Gave me a little side hustle. But yeah, so I had bought a lot of that eyelash yarn and the ladder yarns and different stuff to make hats and scarves with. Well, I found a bunch of it. And Amber talking about the caterpillar, and I got thinking, I think I've got some kind of coppery brown fuzzy yarn down there that I think would be really fun to do like a woolly bear caterpillar with. I'll have to go down and dig around and see if I can find it now. Like I need another whip. Right now I've got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whips in progress that I just started within the last several weeks. Most of them are kind of on the back burner right now because Camille is doing a September secret Tunisian crochet project. So everybody that wants to join in on it, we're all just doing a secret project that has to be done in Tunisian crochet, and it's a project of our choice. It's not a make-along or anything. And when we're done, we have until the end of September to do it. And when we're done, we just send her progress pics and the finished project and all of that, and she will compile it into a video and possibly give out a yarn prize of some type. I'm not sure. She hasn't really decided for sure yet, but there may be a prize tied to it at the end. So yeah, so right now I am really concentrating on that. Unfortunately, I can't tell you guys what it is. That's one of the rules. We have to keep it a secret until the at least the video release. So, which bums me out, but oh well, it is what it is. It's kind of a fun thing because on her channel, we all get to talking about, you know, doing our secret projects, and we all try to get each other to tell what our secret project is. So Good morning to all the new folks coming in. Good morning, Twinny. Good morning, Sassy Mary. Hello, Kathy. It's nice to see you. 71 in West Virginia. Nice. How warm is it supposed to get for the day, Kathy? So I'm thinking that my background is going to be changing just a little bit, hopefully by this weekend. This cabinet full of glassware that you can see back here behind me, I'm thinking I am going to move over to the wall that is kind of in front and to the side of me. And then I'm going to try, I've got a new closet bar that I'm going to put up downstairs because I've got a lot of clothes hanging up down there on those portable clothes racks. And what I'd like to do is, oh, well, nice. Thanks for coming in, Thrifty. Your name is Rachel, right? It's good to see you here. But yeah, what I want to do is bring up one of the portable clothes racks and put over there on that wall to display my crocheted stuff on. So, um, oh, I think I'm going to have to come up out of this big sweater now. It's actually fairly warm inside the house, so ugh, it's getting a little too warm. I kind of do like the cooler mornings, though. It's given me a chance to use the cool poncho that I made, like the one that Amber had made, the enchantment. I think it was the enchantment poncho. Um, Marianne, no, the craft room in the cellar is not working because for some reason my power went out down there in that part of the basement. So yeah, kind of curtails having anything going on as far as making stuff and making videos. Also, another issue that I was running into is my internet was not connecting well down there on the computer. Now, have no problem with it on the TV. It was connecting through to the TV just fine, but my computer just was not picking up the Wi-Fi. It wasn't getting a good strong signal down there, so it was kind of making it rough when I was trying to do lives and stuff down there. So right now, yeah, it is a bummer about the electricity. It really puts it's a pita. Because to be able to do anything down there like find yarn, I have to I've got an extension cord run from the front of the basement to hook a light up to, and I can turn on my light long enough to go in and find whatever yarn I need, and then, I turn it back up and off I go. But yeah, I have gone through um, all the all the circuit breakers in the box, and you know, none of them um, seem to help with getting the power back on down there. So I don't know. I'm probably going to have an electrician come in, which right now I really just don't have the money for. So it is what it is. And plus, it gets really cold down there. So I probably would have been moving up for the winter anyway. So just kind of up here sooner. So what is everybody else doing today? I think once I'm done with my live right now, I am going to get out and clean the kitchen. And then I'm strongly considering changing my furniture in my bedroom around. I really need to get room made in there to have good storage for my instruments. It was kind of funny. I had been chatting with my dad the other day, and he asked me if I was playing my harp at all. And I will be real honest, I have had it set up, but as far as playing it, no. But at some point, I would like to try and mess around with it. There are some YouTubers that do tutorials for double strung Celtic harp, so I will probably see what I can do to learn a little bit on it. But he was saying, you know, if you don't feel like playing it, I have nothing against you going ahead and selling it. And I was like, well, okay, that's nice, but I'm really against selling it. I don't like to sell instruments. And he's like, yeah, neither do I. That's why I've got the problem that I have. He has, I don't know how many instruments at home in his condo, but he has two climate controlled storage spaces that are mainly to store his instruments. And yeah, it's a little crazy. At least I don't have that many, but I do have quite a few. And I imagine when I go down there at Christmas, I will probably come home with some more, because I know he still had some things he wanted to give me. One of which was a violin or a fiddle, whichever you want to call it, because I would like to start learning how to do some folk music on the fiddle. You know, Julianne, I really need to get signed up as one of your advanced readers. I would love to do that. Are you still working with Kim on her book? Julianne, probably the best one to send it to me at would be my main email. I do have another email that's kind of more geared towards the channel, but I will have to admit I don't check it real well. So, okay. I kind of thought maybe that was the case, Julianne, but I really didn't want to be nosy, but now I'm being nosy. Awesome, Julianne. I will definitely give it a read through. One of these days, I really need to buckle down and get working on my books. I've only got one written at the moment. I need to get it illustrated, and then I want to make it into a series because it's the type of book that would lend itself really well to a series. What it's about is basically my parakeet. My husband and I had a conversation one day about our parakeet because when I first bought this new cage that she's in, we went through a period of time where she was getting out of her cage. And I would come out in the morning to feed her, and the cage would be empty. And then I had to search around the living room and everything to figure out where she had gone to hide and get her back in her cage. And I also had to figure out how she was managing to get herself out of the cage. So one morning I came out real early. She was in the cage at the time, and I fed her, and then I just went over and sat really quietly and watched her and watched how she was getting out of the cage. And what she was doing is going over to the door that slides up and down on the bars of the cage, and she could get her beak in to the crack under the door just enough and push really hard with her beak, and she could pop the door up enough for her to get out. And I was like, oh, you are just too smart for your own good. So I figured out that the clips from bread bags are really good to make locks for the cage doors. So now all her cage doors have bread clip locks on them. But yeah, so the hubby and I were talking about her getting out of the cage. And yeah, she is definitely a sassy little thing. She is the most useless bird. I mean, she's pretty, but she is just of no use. She just is a noisemaker and eats food and makes a mess, and that's about the best I can say about her, because she's not been tameable, have not been able to get her hand tamed, have not been able to get her to talk. She just doesn't want to do anything. Whoops. Okay, I froze there for a second. So yeah, adventures when I wasn't around. Well, what we got talking about was, what if she got out the door? Because she can fly. I don't have her wings clipped, and she can fly. So if she was able to get out of the cage, it's a good possibility that we could open the door and she could head on out. So that's kind of the premise of the story, is her getting out of the cage and out of the house, and then having adventures out in the big wide world. So in the first story, she gets out of the house and ends up almost getting eaten by a cat, and then she gets rescued by a crow, and he gives her advice on, what she should do and where she should go because, here in Indiana, the weather gets cold and she wouldn't be able to survive the cold. So he tells her, she needs to head down south. And so she starts flying south and meets other birds who give her information. And so in researching, I found out that there is a big colony of wild parakeets down in Florida. So at the end of the first book, she meets up with the wild parakeets down there, and there are people down there that really like the parakeets, so they put out food for them and stuff. So they live pretty well. So yeah, she goes down to Florida and she's living down there, but then they have a hurricane, and that freaks her out pretty bad. So she decides maybe Florida isn't the place that she wants to live. So that's kind of where the first book ended. And so the second book, what I'm thinking about is having her stow away on a cruise ship and head over to Spain. And then what the ultimate goal is, because I'm kind of doing it as a travel log, so I'll be telling the things that she sees as she goes around. But parakeets originate in Australia. So what I'm thinking is that her ultimate destination is going to be getting back to Australia. And so that's, down the line. I don't know how many books I'll end up writing to get her there, but that's the ultimate goal, is to get her back to Australia and back to the wild parakeets there. So yes, she will be a very well-traveled little thing. Hey, Jackie, nice to see you. Welcome in. But I did have my first book. I've had some people with kids read it, and I've got an aunt, no, a cousin who her stepdaughters are teachers, and they also have kids. So she sent the book on to them to have them read it, and I got really good feedback from them. So it was really nice to have the teacher feedback, because they both said that they would use it in class, for discussions, which is really cool. So Marianne, yes, I hope it will be an interesting adventure. I think it will be when it's done. Like I said, I do need to find an illustrator and get that part done, and then get to work on writing my second one. So. It is really fun writing. What I really enjoy is, oh, Marianne, that's too bad. That is a pain to have that much of your time and your life invested in writing something and then not be able to get to it. Just what I really enjoy about writing is, I mean, the writing process is fun, but what also I really enjoy is doing the research to um, be able to do the writing that I'm doing, because with this being a travel log, you know, I want to have her going to places that kids could actually possibly go see at some point in their lifetime, or at least get online and, you know, see pictures of. Um, so yeah, it's kind of, but doing the research is also a really good learning experience for me. Yeah, Julianne, that is not a bad idea at all. Um, you know, that's a really good idea, Rebecca. It is a really good idea. Over 300 bucks. Oh my God. That's crazy. Rebecca, I do a lot of virtual field trips on YouTube. I, I watch a lot of people that do travel log videos. Um, I just recently found a new guy that I've started watching. Um, his channel name is Fiasco de Gama. So he's from Australia. So, of course, he's got the fun accent to listen to. And he has been traveling around India, and he's been doing videos in Kerala and Goa parts of India. Um, and if I ever got a chance to go to India, I think Goa is one of the places that I would definitely love to visit. Um, but yeah, he's getting ready to have to go back home to Australia for a little bit to kind of re-up his visa status. And then I think he's planning on going back to India. Well, Marianne, I sure hope maybe you can get that, get access to it and get it downloaded somewhere, um, and probably maybe a print copy. Because it's, I mean, having storage on computer is really nice until you can no longer access it. And then it's, you know, it can be very heart-wrenching. I know that I have lost phones that I've had 10 tons of pictures stored on, and I didn't. Yeah, I watch Itchy Boots. I've been watching Itchy Boots for quite a while now. I love her channel, definitely. And then I watched this darling Irish couple that are currently traveling around the U.S. And they're just so fun. They're just cute as they can be. Especially her reactions to stuff are just absolutely priceless. Oh no. Well, I hope you can find things, but you know, if you do get access to your book, definitely get a copy printed out so that, you know, you do at least have a hard copy of it just in case, because, you know, things happen with computers and hard drives and all that stuff that I mean, we get these hard drives and computers and stuff to try and reduce the amount of paper that we have in our lives, but then, you know, something happens and we don't have them anymore. Hello, Linda. Welcome in. Nice to see you. How are you doing today? I'm just basically doing a test live. I haven't been live in a while, so I decided just to do a test to see what I need to change up as far as my lighting goes. Right now, I would say my lighting is a little on the bright side because I'm in between two windows. I've got the one behind me and then I've got one right here to the right of me. So I definitely have a lot of natural light. I may need to put my shade down or something and cut down a little bit of that super bright light. But yeah, it's been a little chilly here today too, Linda. Have you had rain this morning? I was telling everybody else I had planned to let nature water my garden this morning, and I went outside about 5 o'clock in the morning and the sky was just clear as a bell. And so which I loved, I got to sit out in the chair in the backyard and look at all the stars, which was just amazing. But yeah, I came back in the house because the last I had looked at my weather app last night, it was calling for us to get rain this morning. Well, I came back in the house from looking at the stars and checked the weather app, and they had taken the rain out of the forecast. So I was like, well, great. Now I got to water the garden because I hadn't watered the garden in several days because we got some really heavy rain last week. So I was going to wait till after Amber's live to go out and water. And while I was sitting out on the porch watching her live stream, it decided to cloud up and rain. And then it quit raining and got sunny again. And then about 10 minutes later, it clouded up again and rained some more. And it got sunny again about 15-20 minutes after that rain. And now it got sunny again, but it looks like it's trying to cloud back up. So who knows what it's going to do next. Maybe snow, I don't know. God, no, please no. My rule is no snow before my birthday. So one year when I was living in Tennessee, it actually snowed on my birthday in Tennessee. I was like, what the heck is this? No swearing. Right, Linda. That is definitely a 4-letter word. I agree. So Linda, what are you working on today? You doing any crocheting? I have been very diligently working on my secret project, but I decided since I was going live, I would put it down and not take the chance of showing everybody what I was doing. I'm hoping Halloween colors contest. Oh, that sounds like fun. I am hoping that I can get my secret project done in, I'd like to get it done like this week or the beginning of next. It's almost there, but I'm going to have to wait on some yarn to get here because I had to order more of the yarn that I'm using. And I went on Lion Brand and found out that the particular colorway I'm using is no longer manufactured. So I had to go to eBay, and luckily I was able to find some on eBay. So I ordered myself plenty. I'll probably actually end up with too much, which is okay. I can always find a project to use it in. But right now I am working on just a throw that I'm doing in moss stitch. This is a yarn, I think I told you guys about it on Camille's live. It's called Girls Night Out. It's a big twist yarn, and I got it on Julian's Dibs sale when she had it. So I'm making a moss stitch throw, and since I only have 4 skeins of it, what I decided is I'm gonna do some white stripes in it too. Too much yarn. There is no such animal as too much yarn, Linda. That is not a thing. Yep. And then once you got the little root going, it's going to crack out the top and you'll get a little sprout coming through. When I was a kid, we actually grew one. I think we got it a couple of feet high. Your bedroom is yelling at me? Well, I'll tell you. I keep moving yarn up from downstairs because I keep starting new projects, and it is getting a little congested in here. I need to do some moving around and get things in order. Because right now I can't even have company. My living room is just like such a mess that I would not be comfortable having company. My husband said I needed to invite my best friend to come down for a few days because I would clean the house before she came down. I was like, yeah, right. He knows that's one way that I will definitely clean the house is if I'm going to have company. But I hate cleaning the house. It takes away from crochet time. Yeah, I have grown lemon and oranges and lime. Um, I actually grew some oranges that did grow oranges. Um, Unfortunately, they were not edible oranges. they were they were these sourest things. These oranges, the peel was actually sweeter than the fruit. So, yeah. Oh, well, Julianne, I hope you get one started. That would be really cool. Um, with a pear, I'm not sure. I know with apple trees that you need more than one apple tree to, um, if they bloom, you need more than one to pollinate and get good apples. Um, and they even recommend that you get more than one kind of apple tree. So yeah, I'm thinking pears are the same, that you need more than one tree to be able to get good fruit. Um, yeah, I have milkweed growing wild all over the place. I haven't walked down the side of my house, the north side of my house lately. That's where it usually grows, and I try to get the husband to leave it um, so that the monarch butterflies can um, lay eggs there. Well, Marianne, a lot of people consider it a weed around here too, but this area is in the migratory path for monarch butterflies, so a lot of people tend to leave milkweed around here. Um, I will have to check it out, Julianne. Now, he yanked a bunch out that was in the backyard the other day. Um, I don't think he's cut down any from the side of the house. Now, my neighbors over on the corner next to me, they have down the entire side of their house is nothing with nothing but milkweed over there, which is kind of cool. I'm thinking next year, the north side of the house may be where I put my squash plants, because the only thing that I've got actually planted over on that side of the house is I've got some tulips that really don't do too well, and I've got hyacinths. Now, the hyacinths do bloom quite well every spring, but I am thinking that next year, after the hyacinths all die back, I'm going to um, throw my squash plants over in that area, because there's quite a good space over there that would be good to grow zucchini and summer squash in. And that would free up more space in the main garden for doing other stuff. I talked to my husband the other day about doing what I had actually planned to do this spring. I had wanted to take my garden. My garden is built out of cement block, and it's a raised bed, 8 foot, and then it's about 24 foot long. And it has it's what they call a keyhole. So it's got like a 4 foot space, and then the blocks kind of cut in, and it's got it's got an 8 foot space, then the blocks cut in, and it's kind of like a 4 foot space, and then another 8 foot space, and another 4 foot, and another 8 foot. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is open it up completely where the keyholes are, just make 3 separate raised beds with walkways in between them. I'm getting to a point where it's really hard for me to bend over and weed and manage and pick things and stuff in the bigger garden like it is right now. So I'm hoping he'll help me to move bricks and dirt and stuff around again. when we bought this house, it is a lot easier to take care of, especially if wearing a bubble wrap suit. You got that right, Marianne. It would be hard to weed a garden, bend over and weed a garden in a bubble wrap suit. When we bought this house, I went out in the backyard and kind of dug around a little bit, just to check out what the soil was like. And the soil is absolutely gorgeous. But you go down about 3 or 4 inches and you hit nothing but tree roots, because this neighborhood is absolutely full of trees, which, is great. I have nothing against the trees, but it makes it hard to dig a garden. So I told my hubby that we were going to have to do a raised bed. And so I spent the first winter that we were here. Rebecca, yeah, I have lived in places that we had clay soil, which was quite interesting. But yeah, the first winter that we were here, I spent that winter planning how to build my garden. So I got graph paper and I graphed it all out and figured up how many bricks I was going to need and how much soil I was going to need and all of that stuff. So when spring got here, I ordered my bricks and I ordered my soil, and the hubby decided he was going to help me build the thing because he was like, you'll never get this thing built by yourself. So it was May and early May, and he got out and helped me build my main raised bed. Well, when we got that main raised bed built, lo and behold, I had a gazillion bricks left. And he was like, how did you come out with so many extra bricks? And I said, well, I guess I was thinking I was going to build the garden bigger than what I am. So I had lots of cement blocks left. So I just put some other raised beds other places around the yard. Simple fix. Yeah, and then I ordered about a dump truck load of dirt to go into that raised bed. And the place that I ordered the dirt from is up in Michigan, just across the border from where we live. And beautiful, beautiful soil, dark, rich, just gorgeous soil. But the problem with it is that it's very, very heavy. So about the first 3 years of having the garden, I had to add stuff. I was adding peat moss and all kinds of stuff to the soil to make it lighter so that I could grow mainly root crops, because my husband loves radishes. I could not get a radish to save my life. I had beautiful radish greens, which radish greens are really tasty, but could not get a radish bulb to save my life. Carrots wouldn't grow, nothing like that. So yeah, I had to do a lot of soil amendments to be able to grow any root crops. And it's finally gotten to where, yeah, I can grow root crops. I grew a pretty nice crop of potatoes a couple of years back. And I've grown beets. The hubby likes beets, so I grew him some beets, and they did good. So, but as I've gotten older, I also have gotten not as good at keeping the garden up as what I used to be. So I kind of have successively each year planted a little bit less in the main garden. And right now I actually have like 2 spots in the garden that I pretty much don't have anything growing in. But one thing that I have plans for is one end of the garden I am just going to plant in garlic and saffron crocus. And yeah. Well, you guys, it has been a little over an hour. I do have an herb garden, Rebecca. In fact, I've got like 3 different spots that I grow stuff, herb type stuff. I had one raised bed that I created just for my mint. it has since escaped and gone just everywhere. And then I have another spot that basically the lemon balm has taken over, and it's really trying to take over the world back there. And then I've got another herb garden that I've got sage and oregano, and there's some lemon balm over there, some fennel. Um, but my oregano, my sage, and my fennel all have just kept coming back every year since I planted them over there. So that's a nice thing. Um, oh, and I've got thyme over there. The thyme keeps coming back as well. So, yeah. Well, Julianne, thanks so much for stopping in and spending some time. It's really nice to see you here. I think I am going to go ahead and get off of here and let everybody get to their other things that they need to do. It's been, yep, I've got basil. I've got basil. I've got a bed right off the back porch, Rebecca, that I've got Swiss chard growing in the bed, and then in the blocks on either end of the bed, I sowed another crop of cucumbers. And in the blocks, in the holes of the blocks right along the edge of the porch, I threw basil seeds, so spicy globe basil. So yeah, I've got a nice little bunch of basil growing back there. But yeah, anyway, you guys, I could sit here and talk about gardening all day long. So I should get off of here and actually try to do some yard work, do some housework, maybe change my bedroom around. We'll see. But wish me luck, guys. But I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much for coming in and spending time with me. Be watching for me Saturday morning around 9:30 Eastern time. That's when I plan to come back on and do another live stream. So it's been great hanging out with y'all, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.